Well, given your life and career, yours is a crucial voice in this conversation, so we'll continue to talk about it. I do want to ask you about what happened yesterday, Congresswoman, between you and Republican Jim Jordan. This took place during a House Judiciary Committee. It was a hearing over the COVID-19 Hate Crimes Act. You were criticizing an amendment introduced by Republicans that would prevent police departments from being defunded when you were interrupted by Congressman Jordan. Here's what happened.
I served as a law enforcement officer for 27 years. It is a tough job, and good police officers deserve your support. You know, it's interesting to see my colleagues on the other side of the aisle support the police when it is politically convenient to do so. Law enforcement officers risk their lives every day. They deserve better, and the American people deserve. I have the floor, Mr. Jordan.
Lady has,
what,
look,
did I strike a nerve? Law enforcement officers deserve better than to be utilized as pawns. And you and your colleagues are ashamed of yourself.
The gentlelady will suspend and the clock will be stopped. I want to admonish members. They must not interrupt someone who has the time.
Mr. Chairman, can I ask
a
question?
You simply can't shout out. If you think that someone is saying...
I agree.
Mr. Jordan, you don't know what in the heck you're talking about. You know nothing about what law enforcement officers
I know about my motive.
And you're using them as pawns because it serves ridiculous political purposes.
Val, everyone must suspend. I am making the point. No one may shout out when someone else has the time. Not Mr. Gohmert.
Question, Mr. Chairman.
Not Mr. Jordan. Nobody.
Not Mr. Cicilline.
Not Ms.
Demings.
He didn't do that. But nobody.
Not Mr. Jordan.
Not Mr.
Nobody.
Okay, nobody. I agree with that. But
and how do we?
Everybody.
I have a question.
I will simply. There is no question. Nobody may shout out.
When you give a speech, Mr. Chairman, about motives and questioning motives, and our motives are questioned, how do we address that?
The rules allow a request words
I have watched them live and die, and you know nothing about that.
Jim Jordan lecturing the former chief of Orlando Police about policing. Congresswoman, give our viewers, if you can, a little context about what was going on that led to that moment.
We were in a markup in Judiciary yesterday, presenting a piece of legislation that the COVID-19 Hate Crimes Act that actually deals with or attempts to address the increase in violence to our Asian brothers and sisters. And I thought it was interesting that an amendment was presented by the Republican side of the aisle that talked about defunding the police. If you're really concerned, and let me make this clear, there was absolutely nothing in the legislation that talked about defunding the police. And if we're talking about legislation that deals with an increase in hate crime, you would think if my Republican colleagues are so in love and want to support the police, that they would deal with the increase in hate crimes that the police have to deal with. And so to try to seize that very critical moment and use law enforcement as a political pawn to interject something that did not exist. It was not reality that there was anything in the legislation that talked about defunding the police was just simply ridiculous. And also, when I think about the American Rescue Plan, that as you know, a significant portion of the money was designated to go to local and state governments. And so if you really want to support the police, then you should have supported that piece of legislation. But we do know that the Republicans did not support the legislation. And so it was about getting us back on track. Let's stay focused on why we're here and stop playing these political games. Stop being obstructionists. Let's remember January 6th, when you were completely silent when the police were being beat down. And so it was about, let's stay focused here about why we're really here.
First of all, I just want you to know I am one of the many chairmen of your fan club. Your righteous indignation struck a nerve yesterday with America, and it was an important moment of righteous indignation. Now, you have been called Officer Demings. I'm betting you were called Sergeant Demings, probably Captain Demings, Chief Demings, and now Congresswoman Demings. On behalf of the people of Florida, would you let us know, can we please call you Senator Demings?
Oh. Oh.
Well, Senator.
Well,
Senator, as you can see, based on yesterday, we still have a heck of a lot of work to do in the House of Representatives. But what I can tell you is I'm going to continue to do what I have tried to do in every position that I've held, and that's to remember my oath and fulfill our most important mission, and that is the protection of the American people. And I'm going to continue to do that regardless of the title that I hold.
Okay.
Hashtag run, Val, run.
Yes.
Run, Val,
definitely.
run, Val, run.
And I am seconding what Claire McCaskill has just said. Congresswoman Val Demings, thank you very much.
Hey, thanks so much for watching our YouTube channel. You can follow up on today's top stories and breaking news, or catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.